You're listening to the Modern Mom and Dad podcast, a modern take on marriage, relationships, parenting, life, and so much more.
Welcome to the Modern Mom and Dad podcast. I'm your host, Ty.
I'm your other host, Caitlyn.
And we'll start off by just giving an update on our weekend. So bad
I feel like
starting.
we need to get better at our intros. I feel like they're always so, like, the same thing every time.
How's your week been?
Maybe you should say how you think my week's been.
I think your week has been emotional.
I've had an emotional week.
Pregnancy hormones have hit for sure.
Once I hit 8 weeks pregnant, things have just got really hard. Like, I feel like I am like a whole different person. It's definitely been an adjustment this week.
Like, we were watching basketball last night, and I look over, and she's scrolling through Instagram, watching, like, baby stuff and kid stuff, like, cute, cheesy kid stuff, and she's just bawling. And I was like, oh my God, is everything okay?
Oh my gosh, there's certain things that set me off. And the reason, so I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a reel and it's of this little boy who's going down a mountain on a snowboard. And he's so cute. And the verbiage, like what he's saying is like...
It really is like the cutest video.
It's the cutest thing.
He's like snowboarding with his dad or something. And he's like, I hope I don't fall. I won't fall. And he's just like super cute. Yeah.
The cutest thing. Anyways... The reason this triggered me and set me off and made me so emotional is because I remember Ty is showing me this video when we were going through infertility treatments, and I think we were like in the midst of, I don't know, our egg retrieval or some deep part of IVF, and I remember watching that video thinking, oh my gosh, how cute, like I really hope we are blessed with a son someday, and I don't know, I envisioned us having a little boy like that, and I'm like, oh, I really want that. And then I saw the video, and it reminded me of when Ty showed me this video and like how I was really hoping someday that would happen. And the reality of it set in that we are pregnant with a little boy.
And then add pregnancy hormones.
Yeah, and the pregnancy hormones. And so it was just an entirely emotional situation. But yeah.
What are some other videos that have set you off?
Well, I talked about this over on Instagram. I have been really struggling with, I think there was a word for it, and I don't want to, I'm using this term lightly because I don't know if this is totally me, but I think it's called perinatal anxiety. Perinatal anxiety, perinatal depression, that's basically like a depression and anxiety you're feeling before even having a child. And I think a lot of women who've been through infertility experience this, a lot of women who have experienced loss previously. I mean, even just women pregnant experience this. Like, it doesn't really have a category.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of woman can experience these feelings. I know
it's intertwined, but do you feel like it's more depression or anxiety?
I feel like it's more anxiety. I definitely don't feel like it's depression. The issue I'm currently having is, and I think a lot of women, again, who've been through infertility and loss have felt this way, but when you have been trying so hard to get pregnant and trying so hard to, get to this next step, and then you're finally pregnant, the reality hasn't quite hit you, and you are protecting yourself constantly by always assuming the worst, because if you assume the worst, nothing worse can happen.
Throughout the, last year and a half, you get your hopes up and you're disappointed every month when it doesn't happen. So you're just kind of like conditioning yourself to expect, bad things. But
exactly.
Everything's going great now. It's just, I'm like not a superstitious person, but I'm like very cautiously optimistic. I can't overstate that enough. Like I'm really excited, but like, anything could happen, especially this early. But there's, a heartbeat, and everything's like definitely trending the right way.
Right. I don't think I honestly started feeling these feelings until we had our scare, which we talked about in our last episode. Like the first trimester bleeding we experienced from the subchorionic hematoma, I was so optimistic and like positive and in a good mind space with our pregnancy until that happened. And then it was kind of like a reality slap. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should be more cautious. Maybe I should protect my heart a little bit more because bad things could happen. And I don't.
Well, no, you had mentioned a couple times that you're like, everything's going so good. Like, I'm just scared that something bad's going to happen. And that was before that. But overall, yeah, I feel like your mood was definitely different.
Yeah, I'm more cautious now, I think. I'm trying to deflect those feelings by focusing on things that make us happy and get me excited about the pregnancy, like, us announcing the gender and, shopping for the baby and planning the nursery and doing all of these things that are, supposed to be really exciting. And I do think they're a good deflection of how I'm actually feeling, but I don't think it's necessarily the most healthy way to deal with the actual feelings that I'm feeling and the anxiety that I'm feeling. And this is something I am going to address with our OB when I talk to her next week, because we have an ultrasound next week. But definitely feeling all of the anxiety surrounded about being pregnant, and it definitely kicked in once we started experiencing the bleeding. But back to the Instagram stories, the story that set me off was a really sweet moment between, I don't know, a little girl who was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. There was quite the age gap, and then she had a little sister who was under 1, and basically she was nurturing the baby and getting the baby to stop crying and was able to calm the baby down and
like holding a pacifier or something for the baby. So, yeah, holding the baby.
It was a very sweet moment between two sisters, and even though we're pregnant with a little boy, I looked at that video and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see the age gap. That's like Scarlett and our little baby. And I thought, this is so sweet. I can't wait to witness this sometime as a mother between Scarlett and our future child. And then all of the intrusive thoughts start flooding my mind, and I started thinking, wait a second, this isn't going to happen. This is too good to be true. There's no way we are going to get to experience this. Something bad's going to happen, and you're not going to be able to witness this, Caitlyn. And intrusive thoughts are really hard to maneuver.
Yeah, I mean,
is that the word I'm trying to say? They're really hard to get out of your mind once they're there, and that is where the anxiety stems from. And I think, again, those intrusive thoughts are there to protect my heart and protect myself and remind myself that things could happen, bad things could happen. But it's so hard finding that balance between being positive but also protecting yourself. I know Ty always says,
yeah, don't let the highs be too high and the lows too low, peaks and valleys.
Right. And
that's definitely something I've always lived by. But
not me, but I am really trying to.
And I feel like I've mastered it as much as you probably can.
Yeah.
But
it's just, it's a whole new world when you get pregnant from infertility, or I'm sure after a loss, or you just think of things differently, you see things differently, you react to things differently, and I've just been a little more emotional.
Yeah, well, and the hormones. I mean, that's going to do it.
The hormones don't help, yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. But other than that, I feel like that's been like the weird thing this week that's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the baby talk. What else is going on? March Madness. It's a big day.
Sweet 16, Kansas Jayhawks today. So they're playing Providence.
Rock Chalk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. They should win on paper, but it's March Madness. You never know. Been a ton of upsets.
Yeah.
I think, all of the number 1 seeds are out now. Kansas is the last number 1 seed. But yeah, so we'll see.
I'm still mad at you.
Why?
Because you didn't have me fill out a bracket.
I didn't even think you'd be into it.
I love March Madness. That's like the one time I like basketball.
Yeah.
Is during March Madness.
Just know that almost every bracket in the world is just a big disappointment.
Oh. Ty's bracket's been doing pretty good, though.
So at one point, I did the ESPN Tournament Challenge or whatever, like they're on their app. And at one point in this round of 32, so like the second round, my bracket was 46 in the world out of 17 million.
It's
like
crazy.
Over 17 million. But it was there for a flash in the pan, and then now it's like I'm in the 90th some percentile, but it's not even close now. But it was pretty wild to see it that high. I was like, whoa, like could probably win some money, but then that dried up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So. But I love college basketball. I love this time of year. The tournaments, it's always chaotic, and that's what makes it so special. Like, if your team, Kansas won it back in 2008, which is the year I graduated high school, and that was definitely like a core memory. It was like a magical year, and I hope they can get back there at some point in the near future. Hopefully this year, if not this year.
Don't get your highs too high.
Yeah, I know. I get really bummed when Kansas gets knocked out of the tournament because they're very consistent. They're always a top team, but sometimes it's a one and done. You lose and you go home, and sometimes a team that you should beat gets hot, and they can't. All their shots are dropping, and then Kansas's aren't, and then you go home, and it's always a bummer.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so special though when they win.
So this kind of brings us into our topic of today's episode. We asked you guys over on Instagram for some podcast suggestions and like episode suggestions, and somebody said share the most ridiculous arguments that you and your spouse have been in. So we asked that question over on our Instagram. If you're not following us over there, I think I asked this on my personal Instagram at Ty Neier, but our podcast Instagram is at the Modern Mom and Dad Podcast. We're active on both. But anyways, we asked you guys to submit the most ridiculous arguments that you and your spouse have ever been in, and these are so good.
Yeah, we got quite a few really good ones.
They're really funny, and I am excited to read through these and react to these today. Should
we go over our ridiculous fight first?
Yeah, besides the fact that you didn't tell me about or remind me about filling out the brackets for March Madness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say, maybe in our first marriage that would have been a fight.
It wasn't a fight, but I was also kind of like, oh, thanks for thinking of me.
Yeah. Well, we watched Selection Sunday. I just assumed it was.
I know, you gotta remind me though. You gotta remind me. It wasn't a fight, but we will share ours. Do you want to share our most ridiculous fight?
So when she asked me about this, the first thing that came to mind was, this was way back at our old house, first marriage, before we split up and everything.
Marriage number one.
Yeah, marriage number one. And we started watching, it was that like controversial Netflix show. I believe it's 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
It's like, trigger, but suicide, a real dark show.
It was good.
Yeah, and it was kind of like one of those like binge shows. And we started watching it like first or second episode one night. And I kept watching it when she went to sleep.
It was supposed to be our show. Like, we were going to do this together. We were trying, we were in that partner marriage where we were trying to find things in common because apparently, to Ty, we have nothing in common.
Yeah, when I drew a blank in therapy.
If you ask our therapist.
But yeah, so I stayed up and I was like, oh, I gotta see what's up with this show. So I kept watching it. And it was pretty good. Like, looking back, it wasn't like probably as good as it was hyped up to be, but yeah, and then I told Caitlyn, or I think you asked me, like, how far did you go? And then
the next day or something.
And I was like, oh, I don't remember how many episodes I watched that night or whatever, but she was very upset. She's like, that's supposed to be our thing. I thought we were going to watch it together, and you're watching it without me. And I was like, well, I'll rewatch the episodes.
I'm like, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same because you've already seen it. And I was like, I don't know, sorry.
To me, it was a disrespect thing. It wasn't even about the show. It was something that maybe I hadn't communicated, like, my excitement in that moment.
Yeah,
like, to have
and from my vantage point, it was, like,
not that big
ridiculous
of a deal.
that you were upset about
from
it.
From my point of view, I was like, the level of disrespect
of
watching it without me.
I don't know. I'm going to dig my heels on this one. Because the one thing about Caitlyn is, like, we'll watch movies every once in a while, but anytime we watch movies, like, if we're not at the theater, even if we're at the theater, like, she'll fall asleep.
Yeah, I cannot. If it's past 7 o'clock and you put me in a dark room, I'm out.
Yeah. So, like, I was just like, it's just never going to be her thing. And I've always been more of a movie buff, and I like certain TV shows. But, yeah, so that was, like, where I was coming from. I was like, well, like, you're not a TV person. You're not a movie person.
Oh, my gosh, I just thought of the best one.
What?
And it's a recent one.
Okay. What's that?
Okay. I don't even think I was pregnant yet, but do you remember when you were going to eat the last bowl of chili?
Oh, I forgot about this.
This happened like a month ago.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't pregnant yet. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah, I always love when she cooks chili. and I think we had like some leftovers, and I'd probably already eaten some. Mm-hmm. And I like went to the fridge because I was still hungry, and I was like, I'm gonna eat this last bowl of chili. And I don't remember exactly how it played out.
I was sitting at my desk working, and I was trying to get my work done because I'm like, I cannot wait to sit down and eat that last bowl of chili. Because I'm so hungry.
In your mind, you didn't say that.
In my mind. And I'm like trying to get my stuff done. I'm like, I cannot wait to get this done so I can go like sit down and eat this. And
then I went to eat it, and then
he goes to the
you made a backhanded comment. You're like, well, I was gonna eat that chili, or so, like I was looking forward to eating that, and I was like, oh, I didn't know, like.
Okay, yeah, he goes to take out the chili, and I look at it, and I'm like, I seriously was just about to eat that, and he was like, oh, and I was like, he's like, well, do you want to eat it? And I'm like, no, it's fine, just eat it. It's fine. I was going to eat it, though.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth. I was. Like, that in my mind, that was the plan.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like, come on.
Okay, but here's what happens. Here's what happens.
Yeah, you explain it, because I don't remember exactly how
Here's what happens. So, then Ty's frustrated with me because he's like, you're giving me backhanded comments. And I'm like...
I was like, well, if you're saying it's fine to eat it, then don't say, like, it's fine. But you should feel bad because I was going to eat it. Because that's basically what you're saying.
But I'm like, it's the truth. I literally was about to eat it. So I don't know how else to communicate this to you. But, like, just eat it. It's fine. I'll get over it. That's what I was trying to say. But our communication was just not there.
It was not there, yeah.
Anyways, Ty's frustrated. I'm frustrated. He packs up the bowl of chili.
This is how stubborn we are.
Puts it back in the fridge. Nobody eats it. It sits there for a week.
Nobody ever ate the chili.
Nobody ever ate the chili.
It was forbidden chili.
And we haven't cooked chili since.
Yeah, you need to cook chili, actually. Even though it's getting hot.
I cannot. I'm like, I've been turned off from chili since.
Well, give me the recipe because I'll cook it because I want some chili in my life.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that is our...
That was a very dumb fight. Yeah. It wasn't even really a fight. Like, it wasn't like we...
No, I was really
But we were frustrated with each other. And we're both so stubborn.
And it's recent. It was like a recent thing.
I was like, well, I'm not going to eat it.
Well,
I'll just get
something else. I'm not eating it.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not going to eat it. And it sat there.
And for the next week.
Spoiled. It's such a first world problem.
For the next week, he kept saying, go eat the chili. And I'm like, I'm not eating the chili.
Yeah.
Like, one, it's old now. And two, I'm not going to eat it to make a point.
Hey, why don't you go eat the chili?
Oh my gosh, that's a
But it's like part of it, you have to like not let like that dumb stuff get to a bigger, like we let it get bigger than it should have been.
Yeah, that was
but it didn't get that. It wasn't that big of a deal.
That was probably our like biggest fight like in the past 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just can't let that stuff escalate to like.
Just don't eat my chili.
Well, cook more chili, and then there'll be plenty to go around.
I'm just kidding. I don't know why it triggered me so much, but anyways, let's start reading through some of your guys' most ridiculous arguments with your spouse, and we'll react. This person says...
Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm reading them.
Yeah, we've experienced this. This person says that the most ridiculous argument was about her spouse cheating on her in a dream. And I think Ty's gotten mad at me about this before.
Have I?
Yeah. Or you?
Maybe, probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But that's like one of those, like, how do you combat that, you know? Like,
I feel like it's not an actual fight, but it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I feel like, oh, my dream, you did this or that. I feel like you can, like, poke fun at each other.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, this person says that they fought over the different color of sweet potatoes.
That sounds like something.
Probably because there's like yams and there's sweet potatoes, and yams are technically like red. More red.
I believe so.
And sweet potatoes are more like yellow.
I want to disagree with you to argue with you about it, though.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
But to me, a sweet potato is a yam.
Yeah, but it's really technically not.
Right.
But
exactly.
They are very close.
Yeah, exactly. So I get that. This person says this isn't a silly topic, but the concept of relationship after babies, my husband and I definitely fight more about stupid stuff like whose turn is it to change the diaper. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part, like, sleep
deprivation.
Thank you. It's a hard word to say.
Well, yeah, anytime, you know, like with an infant.
Yeah.
that's going to add a lot of pressure and stress.
Yeah.
And
I think that's totally normal. I don't think that's anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think every couple kind of goes through that.
I feel like that's a justified thing.
Are you nervous to go through that? Because I definitely am.
I'm really not, because I'm not working.
Okay.
So it's not, not as big of, I mean, I'm working, but not a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
So,
it's easier for you to be hands-on. I really appreciate that.
I'm actually really excited about that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You're going to make me cry. Here comes the
Emotional
emotions.
Pregnancy hormones.
I'm really excited to, like, have you hear more and, you know, be part of
experience that a little bit more than I did with Scarlett.
Yeah. We argue over undies. I believe he should chuck out his when they get holes in them. He doesn't.
Yeah, you gotta throw them out when they get holes.
Yeah, it's time for some new ones.
I've got some that probably have some holes in them.
We're on your side, Sam.
Yeah, you gotta. It's time.
It's time.
And I think every once in a while, like every couple of years, you should like your sock drawer. Like, you should just, like, get rid of them all.
Absolutely.
And just buy all new socks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, because then they get all mixed matched somehow.
Yep.
The dryer eats one. You should do that every once in a while. I think that's healthy.
I agree. Somebody said the most ridiculous argument that they've been in is not agreeing that getting the silent treatment is childish. I've got a couple thoughts about this.
So they're arguing about the silent treatment, whether it's childish or not?
Yeah.
Is that what
so I'm assuming, like, we're mad and you're giving me the you're giving me the silent treatment, and then they're arguing about giving each other the silent treatment and saying it's childish. I actually don't think
so, like,
I don't think the silent treatment.
There's a lot of factors in that. It's hard to say whether that's childish or not.
But I don't think the silent treatment's a bad thing. I think sometimes it's better not to use words and to just.
I think it's probably healthy in the context of just, like, cooling off.
Yeah,
like if you're heated, like, maybe you just need to take a minute.
Yeah.
Before, but
instead
like
of speaking.
If you were mad at me and you went like several days without speaking to me, that would be childish.
Yeah, that's childish.
Or if I did it to you.
Yeah. I'd be like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that's, totally different situation. Okay, this argument was over her and her spouse. There were only 2 donuts left in the flavor that she liked, and she hadn't eaten any, and her husband ate both of them. Sounds like a chilly situation.
Yeah, that's very...
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, probably should split it.
Especially if he knew that was your favorite flavor.
But what's the context? Were the donuts there for 12 hours? Were they there for a day? Were they there for just like an hour? If they're sitting there for a long period of time, I feel like free game. After a certain
donuts go bad within like a day anyways.
Yeah, because then they get kind of stale.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should probably share that with your spouse.
Definitely. Okay, this argument was over the TV being on or off while sleeping.
Ooh, we've struggled with this.
This is something we deal with. The one night we sleep together a week.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Not really, but
kind of. So, for me, I like to have the TV on as I'm falling asleep, and I will literally, like, I lay on my side, and I'll have the remote in my hand, and as I'm about to fall asleep, I'll turn it off, and I'm just out. And that works perfect.
So many problems about this. Number one, I can never find the remote the next day because he doesn't put the remote where it needs to be.
It's always in the sheets, yeah.
No, I can never find it.
Gone forever.
Number two, there's timers on a TV for a reason.
Yeah, but I need it at a specific time.
At a specific time.
Yeah.
See,
because I don't want to be watching TV and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready to go to bed yet, and I just turn off.
Oh, that's why you make it long enough. Because, like, I don't know.
Well, how do I know?
I guess for me, I know like 60 minutes and it's going to be plenty for me. So I always set the timer for 60 minutes so the TV shuts off automatically.
Yeah. But I'm kind of like more like you than not though. Like I have to be watching TV.
Yeah.
As pretty much to fall asleep.
Right.
But I just turn it off right when I am like almost out of it.
If I am not watching TV to go to sleep, my mind is erasing I'm consumed in my thoughts. If I am not watching something on TV that I can focus my mind on, I can't go to sleep.
But you can't be watching that Is It Cake show because then you'll be too.
Oh my gosh, I've been watching like survivalist shows.
Yeah. Naked and Afraid, and then
what was the rescue one I was watching last night? It's so good.
I don't know what that's called.
on Hulu, and it's about, I think it's called Rescue or something. I'll have to double check. It's good. Okay, this person says that their fight was over whether the stick butter stays in the fridge or on the counter.
Man, these are some good ones.
I mean...
I've always had it in the fridge.
Me too, but I know a lot of people who keep it on the counter, yeah. But I just get so worried about, like, mold.
Is that, like, a regional thing? Is it, like, certain parts of the country probably
I'm honestly not entirely sure. I have a phobia of food spoiling and mold and all of that, so...
Well, I think people who keep it, like, on the counter, there's a little cover that goes over it, right?
Yeah, but it's still at, like, room temperature, and
yeah,
bacteria can grow in it, you know?
I know what you mean.
Okay, this person said that they argued about leaving a drink/carrier or trash in her husband's car. He hates a dirty car. Ooh, Ty does this to me all the time.
Yeah, so I'm really good about cleaning
your car,
my vehicle,
but not mine.
Yeah, I think it's honestly because a lot of times I'll leave, like, in my own vehicle, I'll leave, like, drinks and stuff in the cup holders, but when I'm leaving, I'll, like, open the door and go, oh, I need to throw this away, and I throw it away really quick.
In my car, you don't do that, because
But also, your car is messy, and it's really probably Scarlett's fault.
I always say I can't keep a clean house and a clean car. I can't do it. Yeah. I can't do it all. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a kind of a longer one. So the wife says, well, one time I was balancing the bank account and I saw a charge from the grocery store that I didn't recognize. I asked my husband. He said he didn't buy anything from there. She proceeded to be ridiculous and blamed the unknown charge on him, even though he kept saying it wasn't him. Finally, she realized the charge was for coffee she had bought inside the store before.
Oh, man.
That's when you just I'm sorry. You just apologize and own it.
Did you tell your husband, or did you just take it to the grave?
Yeah, where'd the story end?
Yeah. That's funny.
Okay, so this wife says that he put the juice lid on halfway. She picked it up by the lid because it's the thinnest part of the juice container. It fell and spilled everywhere. He said it was her fault that it spilled, even though he left the lid sitting on top of the container.
I would say...
You just gotta laugh at that
That's such
point.
an embarrassing thing to fight about.
You just gotta laugh at that point.
Yeah, I'd say the fault's on everybody.
The fault's on everybody.
You should tighten the lid, but maybe don't lift it up by the lid.
Yeah. At that point, you just gotta both accept
asking for trouble if you're picking it up by the lid.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, also, it should be fine to pick it up from the lid, so...
This couple said their most ridiculous argument was who was going to use the new washer first.
Damn. That's good.
Okay, so this person, here's a longer one. She says she was pregnant and got mad and cried because he made me watch E.T. And the little boy reminded me of my little brother. At the end, when the boy is suffering, I was thinking about my brother suffering. So it was obviously my husband's fault for making me cry by watching it.
I blame Steven Spielberg.
That's something I get emotional over right now.
100% where you're at with your hormones.
It's where you can relate to something, even though it might not be relatable at all, but to you, it relates to you in some way, and then it just triggers those emotions. So I feel you, girl. Okay, so this girl, she goes... We moved to a new place and argued over where the silverware drawer should be.
You had like a video on this, didn't you?
Husband would ask people what they thought when they would come over and try to convince me.
Holy crap. That's exactly what I did.
I so feel this. We gotta explain this.
The context is our island with a sink on it. It has drawers on the right side of the sink, but on the left side is where the dishwasher is. But behind it, there's a sliding drawer too, like
so it'd be
not on the
so
island, like on the wall.
To put silverware away because it's literally right behind you.
Mm-hmm. But so I argued that it should go to the right of the sink, and that I still find myself going towards it.
So
but
that's
funny that somebody said that because that's exactly.
If we had multiple drawers by the sink, then maybe I'd agree with that. But by the sink, I need the towels and that kind of stuff. So like that drawer. Which I guess I could move the towels under the sink, but we just don't have a lot of room under our sink because we have
the thing is with the drawer next to the sink, it's a big drawer. Yeah. It's a really wide drawer, so you could have both. You have like 18 rags.
I need them all. I need them all.
In that drawer.
I really don't think we need to have a rag drawer, but I don't know. I feel like for us it makes sense to have the silverware behind.
It's fine though. I'll concede that because it's too late to change it now.
Honestly, when is the last time you did dishes? Because I feel like the person who does dishes in the house
That's why I'm
needs
conceding.
to be.
That's why I'm conceding.
That person needs to be in charge of where things go.
I don't disagree.
I love you. Okay. This person says they fought over how to arrange the rug in the master bedroom. That's an easy fix. Just Google it, because there's, like, standards of how you're supposed to have a rug with a certain size bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, if you have, like, a king-size bed, you need to have, like, an 8x10 rug, I think.
We've never fought over the way the rug goes, but I've gotten frustrated because it seems like we get a new rug every week.
I don't remember the last time we got a new rug.
But there for
maybe
a while.
a year ago. Okay, we just bought a rug for Lolli Co. But
yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. But then you got to lift the bed up, and it's, like, awkward because you can't be, like, right under the bed.
When we first moved in, I had a lot of, like, decor regrets. So, like, I'd get something and then I'd return it because I changed my mind. So, yeah, I get that.
We had to shuffle the rugs around, and then you can never get them perfectly flat.
I know.
And you have to keep... We've all been there.
This woman says she went off on her husband because he took a bite out of her cookie.
I feel like maybe don't go off on him, but I feel like that's fair.
Well, don't eat the cookie. It's her cookie.
I know.
First.
I'm very like selfish when it comes to food. Like if I get food or cook food, like my portion, what's on my plate is what I want to eat. Okay. I don't think other people should eat your food, whether it's a cookie or a meal.
Ask for permission. It's all about respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so this person says we argue 24/7 on who gave who our son. I say I created him, and he says he did.
Takes two to tango.
Yeah, technically your son's 50-50 of both of you, so you both win.
You hope anyway. Sorry.
Plot twist.
Yeah, I don't think there's any winning that one on either side. We argue about who named Scarlett.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, not like really argue, but like joking.
I had Scarlett on my list of names forever, and then all of a sudden he comes out, like we could never come up with a girl's name that we both liked. All of a sudden he's like, what about Scarlett? And I'm like, I just took one for the team and I said, yeah, perfect, let's do it. Because I just wanted him to think it was his idea, but little did he know it had literally been on my list for so long.
I know. It just took me a while to decide.
It all worked out. Okay, this person says she's pregnant and craved a burger. Her husband made steak sandwiches. She locked herself in the bathroom and took a bath and didn't talk to him the rest of the night. He still won't let me forget it.
Oh, I love it. Those are good stories, though.
Yeah.
Even though it's ridiculous, those are good stories.
They really are. Like, we appreciate these ones the most.
You gotta you gotta look back on that and just laugh.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes
Get her a burger.
Yeah.
She's pregnant, you know?
He was cuddling with the dog instead of me. That sounds like Scarlett. She's been coming up to me and she's like, why do you give Indy more attention than me?
Yeah, she's been very dramatic lately.
Yeah, I think it's the new baby thing.
Yeah.
So we've been, Anyways, I'm just like, Scarlett, I do not give Indy more attention than you.
Yeah, she gets so much attention.
Oh, man. I wonder how she's going to adjust to the new baby.
We'll just have to be mindful of it and
definitely.
take her on. Like, if you have the baby, I'll take her to go do something.
She's been asking to go to the trampoline park.
Yeah, trampoline park or just the park or somewhere.
He got the wrong flavor ice cream when I was pregnant, and I cried. I'd probably cry too. He got me the wrong gum the other day.
Or I just didn't get you gum because they didn't have.
No, you got me. Remember you were gonna give me those little. Do you guys know like those square gum? I think it's like. I don't remember. I just bought some.
Is it Icebreaker? Icebreaker?
They're square. They're like
and they
little
have that
cubes.
Weird texture.
They're so good. But I love all the flavors. I love like the blue bottle, the purple, like the grape. I love them all. And he went to the gas station. I said, please get me this. And he comes out and he said they only had like grape or something. And I'm like, but I love grape. Why didn't you get grape? So he got me different gum. Mm-hmm. And
I believe I didn't get any gum.
No, you did because I loved the gum you got me. That was the plot twist.
Oh, you're right.
Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
So it actually all worked out, but I totally get that. I don't know. I was just like, I need this specific gum. They didn't have it, and I don't even remember the.
Well, because originally you said like mint or something.
No, I wanted the blue bottle. I don't know which one it is, but...
Isn't that mint?
Yeah, but I just...
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
I saw the grape and I was like, I don't know. I didn't think you'd like that.
I was like, you should know me.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No. Oh, that's another fight of ours.
Oh my gosh.
Chipotle
Oh,
order.
yeah.
Chipotle bowl. She got really mad at me because I didn't get rice, I believe, or something. Like, I was like, okay. I was like, she texted me. I was like, text me exactly what you want and I'll go pick it up or something. So I went and got it and I brought it home. I don't know if I was coming home from work or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I got home and I got exactly what she texted me. And I believe there's no rice. I think that's the only thing like you left off. And I was like, well, maybe like you just don't want rice, which I thought was weird. But I was like, and I didn't notice it until I was already in the line. So I was like, all right, I'll just roll with it, you know, because I don't know. And then she was so mad at me. She's like, when have I never gotten rice? I was like, I don't know. I just got exactly what you texted me.
Like, who goes to Chipotle and orders a bowl and doesn't get rice in their bowl?
I mean, people that are, like, trying to cut carbs or something.
Was I trying to cut carbs?
I don't know. I don't remember. But then then she was like, it was so funny because she was like, you should just know me better.
Do you realize all of our fights stem from food? Like, it's all food related.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these are. That's so funny. I'm pregnant and I yelled at my poor husband for how he sneezed.
I worked with a guy that we were doing like a, I don't even know what you call it. It was like a class that your company sends you to in like a hotel or whatever. It's like I forget the type of class it was. I think it was like an Excel class. So really dry and boring, very quiet during the class. And this guy sneezed, and whenever he sneezes, it is incredibly loud. And like two of the women that were in the class like screamed, like they're like, "Wah!" Because it was so loud.
This person says he wouldn't even taste the squash I made him for supper, and I cried. He should have tasted it. Just a bite.
Does he just not like squash?
Probably? I don't know. Opposite side. Maybe she should have known he doesn't like squash.
Yeah. I mean, I would taste your squash.
He should have tried it.
But like, if it's something like Brussels sprouts, I'm just not a fan.
I know that. Like, I would cook you Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even probably offer.
No.
Because you know.
I love them.
Unless it was like something different, like Brussels sprouts, like cooked a different way or something, or seasoned differently, maybe.
One of the biggest fights we've ever had was when my husband gave my son a bad haircut.
The good thing about that is 2 weeks later, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it grows back
especially
pretty fast.
With boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe take him to a barber. I've seen some in the Army. That one guy in your barracks is like, oh, I know how to cut hair. Never trust him.
Don't do it.
I never did, but I saw some really, really bad haircuts from people who don't know what they're doing.
Okay, here's the last one.
Okay.
And I call it quits after this one. She says, I swear if he leaves me with no toilet paper again, I'm going to lose it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a respect thing.
Is it just, it must be in a different room?
Maybe. I'd be mad too.
Well, in this household, we have a problem with like, there's like plenty of toilet paper in every bathroom, but like no one ever replaces the roll. The empty roll just sits on top. Yeah.
Why?
I thought about making like a reel of like, be the change you want in the world and not change.
Please make this.
Yeah.
Please do that.
I should do that.
That's funny. These were good. Thank you guys for submitting these.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, this was really fun and a fun laugh for us for sure.
Yeah, if you guys have any other ideas for like stuff like this, like reactions.
Yeah, we love the reaction stuff.
The user submitted stuff is the best.
It's the best. Yeah, it's fun for us to have conversations about like things like this.
Because it's eye-opening when like everyone experiences, like you feel isolated when you're in a fight, or you know whether it's a serious fight or stupid, but everybody goes through the same stuff.
Right.
And it's crazy how similar everything is.
Right. How a lot of relationships are.
Yeah, like a lot of those, I was like, oh, we've been there.
Yeah, like I could relate to almost every single one in a way. So funny. Well, yeah, if you guys ever want to interact with us, again, you can follow along with us over at the Modern Mom and Dad Podcast on Instagram. That's where we are always getting your guys' feedback, and whenever we ask for things like this, you can submit over there. But is there anything else you wanted to cover today? Is that going to wrap up our episode?
I don't think so, yeah. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Hopefully it was entertaining for you guys, and then we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great week. Bye. Do you want to follow along with us more? We would love that. Follow us over on YouTube and Instagram at The Modern Mom and Dad Podcast to interact with us, ask us questions, and to see behind the scenes. Thanks for listening to the Modern Mom and Dad Podcast, and we will see you next Tuesday.